Dr. Kurbasamy, he is the golden medal recipient from the Master of Commerce from the Madurai Cambridge University. He has 5 years experience in industrial experience. He is presenting 142 research papers in various international and national conferences and published 21 textbooks and 56 research articles in various reference in national and international journals. Please welcome the Dr. Kurbasamy, and he will talk about the industrial waste management for disaster prevention in oil and gas sector.
So good afternoon to one and all present here. First of all, let me thank the organizer for giving me a wonderful opportunity to join with the technical team here. Being an academician, having an invading look into the different situations of disasters. I think first of all, my sincere thanks to the team, those who have worked day and night to bring the session in a fantastic way. I thought of starting with a small incident. I think you will be knowing it when tsunami hits the southern part of India. The one particular place that was damaged, Nagapattinam. We took our students after a few days. You know, the quality of the soil and everything. We have taken some of the samples from there. Surprised to see that, it's kind of black mud, everything, because everything is fertile land, 20 kilometers, 15 kilometers away from the sea, so. But it has become unusable farm. Then when we ask the people, local people, what are you going to do with that? Surprised they have come out with a different kind of ideas. It was happened long back, say 60 years, 70 years back, and we have used some of the local technologies to set right the thing. And one more information we got it from them. When that particular incident was happened, 2 hours, 3 hours earlier, almost all the domestic animals, except those who were tied up, all the things left that place. Then we came to understand, this is also one kind of safety management. We have to insist on that. Having domestic animals, I think, I thought of making a very practical thinking about that. The technical people are here. I think you will also agree with me how to utilize the localized material to prevent how to support the safety management in that. I think the one concept, when I listened to the earlier speaker, 2 people, they have pointed out the demonstrative thing, right, from safety gloves and everything. When Wrongton invented X-ray machine, that was demonstrative of the American soldier who had a bullet injury in there. That time he had several problems in the technically executing that. Once he successfully demonstrated, people asked him to go for intellectual property rights, patent or copyrights. He refused. That is why X-ray is available everywhere. But one thing, when I search for the information about the intellectual property production in safety management is very minimal. One. When we go through the industry-wise, even particularly in oil and gas sector, right from exploration up to transmission, you'll find plenty of techniques, plenty of safety equipments are utilized. But if I look into the question of even the third-party certification and everything is available. When it is going to the question of copyrights and patents, is very minimal. I think this is the right time to start with the interdisciplinary research, particularly focus on enriching the safety level by utilizing the locally available material, because even the cost-effective technology which is implementable, though they are innovative, but the technology should be implementable to maximize the safety. I think with this brief introduction, let me enter to the topic. I was surprised when I look into the meaning for it. It's a bad, evil star. You cannot identify where it's going to originate, where it's moving. So that is why it's quite interesting. The disaster, either a man-made or it may be a natural disaster, is an unpredictable one. And if I look into the vulnerability as well as the hazard, it may be a leakage of gases, or it may be occupational disease, also one kind of risk we are facing it. The one thing, insufficient the capacity of observing that one. Whenever the disaster is happening, the cushioning effect, what we are going to create against the disaster is minimal. And the previous speaker also rightly pointed out, we have to make a paradigm from reactive situation to proactive. I think this one, the prediction level that is also required, and how much amount of vulnerability we have in the mitigation process and everything is required. These are the few examples, you'll be looking at the chemical disaster, oil spills, and industrial disasters. When I look into the world as a whole, the God has created the universe with plenty of potential and everything. But I am looking to the risk in some other way. The space or the speed in which we are doing the consumption, that is also a threat for us. Say, for example, I can put it in a very simple way, the environment, how it is polluted, the drinking water. Can one person tell me, okay, the age of the drinking water, say, for example, the bottled water, 15 days, 20 days, you may have it. This is a 2,000 million old water. Only thing is quality is the problem now. If you're able to get a drinking water in a quality way, not a problem. But if the quality of drinking water is affected, again, the question of safety management come. So the volume of risk, on the other side, optimization, the rapid growth of industries, consumption of oil products and other allied, okay, that is making us to think, okay, how we are going to looking to next 50 years. What are the resources we are going to transform to our forthcoming generation? This is the world oil consumption from 1996 to 2002. I think all the people will be looking to that. But one question, okay, we have to look into the other side, the hidden facts. How many accidents were happen? How many accidents were happen for exploring, right from the exploring as well as the final outlet disposal? And the second thing, the volume of risk or in monetary loss, how much we lost it. So these are all the hidden facts behind these oil consumption. So maybe looking like oil consumption, maybe looking like a greeny figure, one side. On the other side, there are plenty of crores and crores of rupee are hidden, okay, just to give a greeny figures in that. This is a world oil price. I think you'll be knowing it. Okay, again, most of the countries' economic condition is decided, particularly the developing countries' economy is decided based on the oil price and everything. The oil consumption, the energy consumption is also going up. This is also one kind of risk. What you are going to do with that? Now, if I'm making very clear, I think as far as the oil and gas industry is concerned, I think the natural disasters. So while we're identifying the location-wise and everything, we are going for a preventive measures. But whereas when it is coming to the man-made, okay, people are talking about the sensory receptors in our body. So whenever we're getting anything wrong, okay, it will be making alarming to our brain. Brain will react. Either it will send a positive replay or negative replay. Likewise, now people started thinking about the sensory thing in there. But among all the risk, if you're asking me, I'll say the human risk is said to be a dominant one. Making a small minor mistake, say for example 0.001% mistake, that may create a great impact on the damages. And if I look into the classification, it's very simple. Okay, the natural disasters, okay, you'll be knowing it. Again, it's classified into major and minor. Coming to the minor, okay, this is also the mudslides and storms. Okay, that is also very common in which is having a direct impact on the oil and gas industry. But whereas coming to the man-made disaster, okay, here the accidents, even accidents due to fire, deforestation, pollution, and everything. Now, the BRIC nation people are talking about is growing at the faster rate. At the same time, if you look into the pollution index, they're also climbing up. The school boys now, they are carrying school bag. Within 50 years, they may go with the oxygen cylinder. We don't know. The school timing, you cannot go in the peak summer, you cannot go out, say for example, countries like India, you cannot go in 12 noon or 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. The school time may be changed, maybe starting from early morning, 3 o'clock, maybe ending with 7 o'clock. That may be the greatest threat for us. I think our generation is very much privileged. We are getting everything and affordable also. But think about the generation which is going to come, okay, next decade or forthcoming 5 decades, after 100 years, what is going to happen for our natural thing in that? Okay, now we are talking about the proactive measures and everything. Okay, I think the risk planning, okay, that is also very vital. Most of the company, they have chief fund officer, chief executive officer. I think it is essential to have one person to look into the risk also. When we are talking about in terms of finance, we used to say look into the risk factors and everything. But in total, because plenty of other things are associated with that. Even our key assets are in the hands of identity. Okay, if anything is going to happen, our key assets may be affected. Threats may be happen in different dimensions, including human. But here, the risk planning is essential. Okay, there is also a thing. One, prediction, at the same time, preventive measures, taking, and when I listen to the people, when we listen to the earlier speaker, that time two things I got it very clear. One, I request the people also, the organizers, to come out with some of the interesting courses for the bottom level people. Okay, maybe offered from the society, okay, which will create a boosting in there, because the people, those who are demonstrated their skills and everything, they may be utilized as a resource person. I think at the bottom level training may minimize the risk, okay, to the extent of 25 to 30%. Okay, here the risk planning, that is also very essential. And coming to the thing, the policies, strategies, coping capabilities, that's one side, topmost. Okay, maybe looking like a top of the pyramid, but bottom of the pyramid, okay, there is like a training the people, those who are going to have a hands-on productivity in that, that is also looking into that. The environmental issue, I think these are all common, all the experts, okay, they'll be agree with me, okay, what are the thing, the atmospheric impacts and aquatic, then ecosystem and potential emergencies and everything. These are the common problems what we are facing it. And environmental impact, again, okay, it's not only common to the oil and gas sector, but also if you look at the massive level of thing, okay, the ozone depletion, which is giving a moral threat for us. So one thing, one interesting information, okay, when ABN AMRO, okay, they had a lot of problems, safety reasons, the customer authentication was not there. So that time, a lot of hesitancy to go for innovative. I'm talking about 20 years back. That time, people were hesitant to go for innovative thing. Even the computerization, that is also the inception stage. ABN AMRO, they have announced that each and every customer, they have to go for encryption mode. So because of that particular effort, okay, the fraudulent fund transfers and everything is protected. So I can give you the technical example for that. So when Pfizer, okay, you take Pfizer, okay, you'll be in Pharmazyme, the world number one Pharmazyme, they had a problem, one technical issue. Their R&D was not working properly. Because of that, they lost 24 patented drugs. There is also risk. The market capitalization they lost, and the customer profile, and now any person can go for that drug. They can manufacture. But one interesting thing move they have made it, and they have initiated, they have spent maximum amount of money on their R&D, particularly going for a molecular remodeling. The existing molecules, the existing system, they have modified, and the vulnerability as well as the acceptance, patients' complaint, that was increased. Likewise, whatever the system we have is wonderful, is working out nicely. Only thing is the quality aspects that is making us to think. We may be practicing it for the 15 years, 20 years, but only thing is whether we are going for a techno-friendly, that's a question over there. And here, I think these are the common issues, okay, the spills and leakages, cooling water and everything. And one thing, if I look into that, some of the good old techniques which was adopted in Asian countries, if I look into the cultivation land and everything, when it is losing its infertility, I mean the fertility of the land is coming down, they'll go for some specific kind of crop. They will not do harvest or something like that. Simply they will bury it into the land, which will create an automated natural thing on that. Now plenty of things are available. So why we have to bother about the disaster? Who is going to be the key person who is going to be? Everyone. We cannot say, okay, we are sophisticated, we have technology. Everyone is affected. And if I look into the climate change risk, again, is going to be a big problem for us. All the scientists are working. The physical risk, business risk, competitive risk, as well as the regulatory risk also is going to be. These are the four major things due to the climate change is going to occur. And now, now the people, okay, when we look into that, these are the some of the technical information I have produced here. Summary of potential environmental impacts which is happening okay, in oil and gas industry, okay, both long term as well as the short term here. And this is one study, okay, that was made, okay, this is related to physical, regulatory, socio-cultural and secondary impact. They have taken 17 sectors. And this is the impact, okay, the orange color, okay, if you look into white to orange, okay, it's strong, okay, you can look into the colors and you can identify. So one simple thing, okay, which was related to the oil and gas industry, okay, which is compared with the other industries almost neutral here. And now, okay, if anything is happen, okay, some disaster or anything man-made disaster happen, what's the mechanism we are supposed to have it? As I already told you, risk planning is essential. At the same time, how we are going to face the risk, there is also another segment. And response and recovery mindset. Okay, here where we have a common structure, there is one thing, and roles and responsibility, who is responsible, okay, assigning them, train them, motivate them. And whatever the system we're going to do it, okay, we have to test them, and recovery process steps, okay. This is the time management is very important as far as the disaster is concerned. And other waste disposable, this is also one of the threat for us. Okay, these are the some of the things I have mentioned here. As I already told you, the waste pits were used as long at the land rig sites. Okay, these are the common methodology. These are the thing people are using it. And disposable, okay, depending upon the volume. And two questions are there. One, the e-waste disposals. People are talking about recycling. I think you'll be knowing it when we are going for disposal of e-wastages. Again, the hazardous things are there. And how to stock it. One, the question mark. And the second one, if you're going for recycling, okay, how to make it without hurting the environment, hurting the people. Okay, this is also there. And then bioremediation technology, I think this is a thing, okay, which is having a good impact on that. I don't know the technical side of the impact, how many times it was repeated and how much amount of volume it has produced. And it's very simple thing here. The people have utilized some of the locals. Say, I think the next slide will give you the clear-cut idea about that.
Doctor,
See,
so 2 minutes, please.
yes. So the wood chips and bark, sawdust and everything, straw and everything used. Even as I already told you, okay, particularly in the sea shore area, when the land is losing its the cultivation fertility, the people used to go for a traditional way of thing. I think this kind of thing can be encouraged. And more and more research should be encouraged. I think as a corporate social responsibility, the oil and gas sector may encourage the people to go for this kind of technology, and which will be, sometime it may be looking like ordinary, but instead of going for innovative technology, okay, let me go for a cost-effective, implementable technology by using the local material here. So I think when you are asking when you are showing the figure to others, you are responsible. Okay, when you are showing a figure, again the 4 fingers are facing you. I think all the people agree with me. As far as safety management is concerned, each and every person is essential. They have to work together. Optimization of results by minimizing the risk at the same time. Whatever the methodology we are going to use it, that should be a cost-effective. So thank you very much for your opportunity. And one powerful quote you'll be knowing: crisis is a good test for you. The way in which you react will indicate how good you are. I think safety management also, I think 100% perfectly matching with it. And my sincere thanks to the chairperson for making this session as more interactive.
Thank you very much. Thank you indeed.
Can you share some idea on that? What is that analysis and who conducted that?
Yes. So actually they have taken risk, what are the various risks they have listed down. Okay, 14 different types of risk are listed down over there. And they asked for the opinion from the pool of people. Okay, the public opinion is obtained. Okay, as far as gas industry, oil and gas industry is concerned, okay, the 77% of the population size is from the general floor workers. I mean, the people, those who are keenly involved in the day-to-day operations. So in that, they have given a scaling and everything. It was a 5-point scale they have given. So among that, okay, while they put it in the order, okay, I mean, compared with the other industry, the oil industry, okay, somewhat, okay, good in terms of creating the risk for the workers, risk for the environment, risk for the, I mean, the cost effective and everything. So this is a summary. Due to paucity of time, okay, I was not in a position to disclose the entire information. I think these are the rating scale, okay, where, okay, we can easily identify where the oil and gas industry stands, particularly in terms of risk due to lack of safety measures.
That study was done by your university or?
No, so this a thing, it was done in India. So I don't know how it's having a viability for the entire world. Okay, this is a research paper we have prepared. Because one of my scholars is from Reliance Petrochemical. When we decided, okay, that time, okay, let me go for this kind of thing, let me make it. So we have taken a floor level response, right from the day-to-day workers and the people, those who are involved in the managerial cadre.
Thank you, Mr. Karpswamy. It's a very nice presentation. Just in the presentation, you have mentioned about e-waste, which is very eye-catchy and most dangerous in future. Have you started any some mitigation measure works or some focus on that?
Yeah, actually now Asan today, if you look into some of the recyclable material, if you take, say for example, when you're purchasing a laptop, we'll be happy that after a certain period of time we'll be throwing out. So if I look into the laptop, say for example, 20 to 25% of the materials are recyclable, but what of the 75% of the thing? Say for example, like a mobile phone and everything, okay, which are hazardous. But if I look into the Western countries, they have different practices. They have constructed a platform, floating platform, on the sea. Okay, what are the waste stages? Okay, they're packing it, everything pakka, and they're putting on the floating platform. But how many days you will do it? But unless or if you're not going for any technology in that, I mean, at least, I'm not saying it entire e-waste should be converted into 100% recyclable thing. It's impossible, okay, because a lot of chemical components are available. But we can prevent the radiation, what is going to happen from that. Or you can say the hazardness, what you're going to face it from that. So I think we can minimize that part of thing, okay, at least to suppress that hazardness, something should be reckoned. That is why I mentioned the e-waste management also now the lucrative area. That is why I told you, okay, once the people are working for copyrights, production and everything, okay, again, it will be a focus approach. There are plenty of other things are also available. Even the pharmaceutical industry, again, even some people are mentioning about the healthcare sector. Again, how are we going to dispose the wastage of hospitals? That is also a big question mark now.
And any future research program on carbon trading from your university?
So actually, sir, this one, okay, this idea we thought it locally local techniques for major problems. The reasons are very simple. Okay, one, we had a plenty of such practices. If you're sitting and speaking with your grandfather or grandmother, they'll tell you thousands of techniques, even how to protect from the fever and everything, right from common thing to how to dispose the wastages and everything. So they'll know each and everything. I think at least, I'm not saying it 100% you follow it, at least 2 or 3 things if you're taking it, that'll be beneficial for us. I think every year a new virus is coming, okay, it may be because of some mistakes made in a biolab or something like that. Different unknown diseases are coming. I think this is also now the threat, okay, which is not disclosed as a man-made or a natural. Something is happening. So adverse effect which is going to have it, okay, we ought to GURP it. To start with that, we cannot make it 100%, we cannot have a 100% control over it. At least, let me GURP, let me have a control, let me have a hold. Put in very simple way. What you have right now, the resources, let it prolong for another 50 years. Next, our forthcoming generation enjoy the fruit, like our drinking water, natural resources and everything. This is my objective of my presentation.